they were tricking us from the start. They really made us think this was gonna be a baby chapter because it's a prequel and everyone is a baby. Then whatever this is blew its stanky breath into our face. But before we get to that big reveal, I've got 10 secrets for you in the main Garten of Banban Aero trailer. Let's react to it and then get started. Please subscribe. Alrighty, let's get this show on the road. Whoa. Okay, that was loud. The heck is that in our hand? What is going on? Love the back. Love the backing track. Okay. Are we holding a mushroom? Status peer. What? Who's whispering in my ear? Jeez. Okay, we got the igloo that we've seen before. I don't know what that is in our hand. Kittysaurus! Whoa. That is very liminal. What are those? Alright, got a little mini game. Whoa. Okay, that's big. That's big and Mushroom got scared. What are those? Right. Oh, Banban, you are destined for great things. Ugh. Bro, this is not a kiddie chapter. This is pretty creepy. Well, that was...
You can control it. I know you can.
Oh! Oh! Oh, I like that.
I know I can.
Yo! Oh, I love it. I love it. They've just dialed up the scare factor. I rate it. Garten of Banban Aero. Are we gonna get a release date? No, as usual, no. The first thing you may have noticed is that we have different things in our hands from usual. Instead of holding the drone remote, now we hold something else in our right hand. It seems to be a key ring that you can slide key cards into. Throughout the trailer, we can see that there's a different number of key cards on the ring. So I assume as we collect them, they'll get added, and as we use them, they'll be deleted. Which is a little bit interesting, I guess, because usually we just collect the key cards and shove them up our butt. Anyway, on to the next detail. Secret detail number 2, the secret remote. Now I know I literally just said that we're not going to have the remote for the drone anymore, but I think I may have found it. In this scene right here where we're hovering above Banban in this liminal infinite space. If you look to the side, you can see something that looks like a drone remote. It's in that icy quarter, hiding behind one of the snow rocks. And from my experience in this game, anything that's that shape is usually a drone remote. So maybe we are going to use a drone this time. Anyway, on to the next secret detail. Hiding blobs. Now you would have noticed these undeveloped Javanium looking babies throughout the trailer. And we'll talk about what they could be in the next secret, but I found 3 really weird instances of it spying on us. It's always in the corner of the shot. This is the first one in the top left corner, just peering down at us like a creep. And then here it is again at the bottom of the screen. Again, doing nothing. And then when we get that final cinematic shot, you can just see it down there in the exact same spot. I'm almost certain this has absolutely no significance or anything like that. I just thought it was kind of funny. Anyway, on to the next secret. Who are we? For a moment, I thought we were going to be playing as Banban, but you can see him in this scene here. And I highly doubt we're going to be the player from the main games because we're looking for our children. Most likely we're playing as a different mascot, but I have no idea which one that could be. Maybe one that dies at the end of the game, who knows? It seems like we're also going to have some involvement in making some mascots. That's what I assume these undeveloped blobs are, but I'm not sure what the scanning phase is. That takes me on to secret detail number 5, the classrooms. And no, I'm not talking about the back rooms despite this looking very liminal. I'm literally talking about classrooms. Look, it's right there. And if you look closely on the left, it says exam pod, which indicates to me that this whole area is actually a school. This all would have been set up by the facility so that we can start to develop the empty blobs into actual mascots, which makes me think these other zones are also going to be some sort of developmental school place. Or they could just be a playground, who knows? Anyway, on to the next secret detail. Bitter Giggle is good. Actually, all of the mascots that we know that are in the baby form are going to be good. It seems as though they're our companions in this chapter. A time before all the beef started of the later chapters. At this point, we've seen all of the baby mascots hang out at least once. The first teaser had Nab Nab and Banban hanging out at the door. Then in this scene here, you can see Banbalina and Banban standing next to each other pretty happy too. In the latest teaser trailer, we see Bitter Giggle and Kittysaurus running by. And there's even a scene with Kittysaurus running next to us, which is nice because that means we don't have to worry about them, but that also means there's going to be something bigger for us to worry about. But we also need to talk about Truffletoot. Truffletoot will die. Alright, so hear me out. I know we all love Truffletoot. Turns out Truffletoot is also an item that we can equip in our left hand. We knew they were going to light the way, but I didn't think we were actually going to equip them to light the way. So they're most likely going to be our best companion in this chapter. But the problem is, out of all of these guys here at the last scene, we all know they survive in the later chapters. I unfortunately have a theory that Truffletoot is not going to make it through to the future. It's the only reason why we haven't seen Truffletoot up until this point, but we've seen every single other one of the cast. Truffletoot might be the bait that we have to use at the end of the game to get away because they're attracted to the light. But this is one of those theories that I'll gladly be wrong about. Who knows, maybe the reason why we haven't seen Truffletoot up until this point is because they exist in the lower levels of the facility. And we might reunite with them in the Garten of Banban 8, so don't get sad. But also, they might die. Anyway, next secret detail, Nightmare Banban. I find it very concerning that Banban had his nightmare form back when he was a baby as well. What we can clearly see here is Syringione trying to teach him to take control of the nightmare form. But from what I can tell in this part of the trailer is that he can't take control of it. If he can't do it as an adult, I can't see why he'd be able to take care of it as a baby. But that also makes me think that the anger and rage inside the other mascots also exists in them and babies as well. So remember that point I said before about them being our companions? Maybe that's not so true. On to the next secret detail, the final monster. I don't know about you guys, but this is probably one of the scariest things that has ever been in any of the Garten of Banban games. Even though we can only see its teeth, eyes, and stanky breath, it looks terrifying. But thankfully, the thumbnail actually tells us a little bit more about it. If we enhance it a little bit, we can see that it has a goat's head. You can see the ears over here and the horns over here. And I also assume this is the thing that was in the other trailer, the snake body. So it must be some sort of chimera hybrid goat snake monstrosity. And it's ridiculously big. I honestly don't even think that the Nightmare Banban form could take care of this guy as an adult. Let's just pray that Jumbo Balls is alive as a baby and can take care of this mess for us. Because this crew of Rugrats is gonna get whooped. Anyway, on to the last secret detail, the Nanny. During the trailer, you can hear whispers of something unknown in the background. I was almost certain that this was some form of Spanish, but I didn't want to be insensitive, so I asked the developers to confirm it for me, and they said no. That was a little bit embarrassing. But regardless, the thought of speaking Spanish reminded me of the book that we find in the Nanny's room. And then I remembered that the Nanny was a cow. And we now know the final monster in this one is a goat. Similar barnyard family line if you ask me. I'm gonna state it now, I think we're gonna learn at least something about the Nanny in this chapter. If she's not related to this monster at the end or some form of caretaker for the babies, I think we're gonna know something at least. And with that being said, that's all I've got for you guys. I'm so excited for this chapter because they've just gotten better and better at making these games. And I'm always happy with the angle of going into the darker, scarier route because that's what I like. So you know what to do, subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on the playthrough when it comes out. As always, I'll be the first person to play it right on the dot the second it releases. But until then, if you want to watch something to help you fall asleep, why don't you watch this 3-hour Poppy Playtime Chapter 4 playthrough? Or even better, this secret video of me hacking through the game after I finished it. But until next time, goodbye everybody!